you all. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the north. More specifically, we are in Columbus, Ohio. And even more specifically than that, we are in front of the Columbus Doubletree. Yes, we are back at the Columbus Doubletree. This served as my home for a little less than a week back in the month of January. And the reason we are here, the reason we have returned to Columbus, Ohio, is today is supposed to be the day. Today is supposed to be the day that I get my car back. I was in a car accident on January 12th. So it's been about 4.5 months since my car accident, since I was rear-ended and my car ended up in the shop here in Columbus. There's been some delays, there's been some road bumps, but if everyone is telling me the truth, then today, here in Columbus, Ohio, I will get my ar back. I'm gonna head over there here in just a little bit to check on my car. They told me it would be ready. They bumped it back a few times. They've had delays for various reasons, parts. I think a gentleman that works there had hand surgery that put things behind. But they told me, I'm sorry, I almost don't believe that this is going to happen. This has been such a long time coming, and thank you so much for you guys coming along with me on this journey. But yeah, today, hopefully, will be the day. We've returned to Ohio with not the rental car that we left in. This is rental car number 4. Got a Nissan Altima. I also have, I left a trail of rental cars with me. I originally rented a white Nissan Rogue here in Columbus. That ended up getting left in California when it broke down, and various smaller mechanical misfunctions ended up with car number 4, this Nissan Altima, which has been fine. This one hasn't given me any trouble, but I sure am ready to get my car back. Let's grab a little lunch first. And when you are in this part of Ohio, there really is only one place to get lunch, here at Skyline Chili. So yes, got myself some Skyline Chili, because I just don't know when the next time I'm going to be able to eat chili in a rental car. But yeah, every time I'm in Ohio, I try to grab some Skyline Chili. And recently, I normally would get what they call the 3-way. It's chili, a whole pile of cheese on a bed of spaghetti. A lot of people, I think that's really strange when they first have it, but it's actually really good. So I would always get the 3-way. But recently, I found a menu item that I am now obsessed with. Let me show you this. This is what they call a Chilito. It is wrapped in a tortilla. Let me show you here. It is chili wrapped in a tortilla with cheese. Kind of reminds me of like the old chili cheese burrito. Of course, it's got that very specific Skyline Chili taste. The flavor of Skyline Chili is very unique. It has almost like a cinnamony flavor to it, a very unique taste. So I like to get the Chilito with the sour cream on it. So it's chili, sour cream, and cheese rolled up in a nice tortilla. It's so good. You get all like that, all those wonderful Skyline flavors, that thick cheese they put on, the sour cream, and that trademark chili. It's a little, gotta be careful because these are a little runny, because they're just packed with chili, but man, this is so good. I can't get enough of these. But I did want to try something I hadn't tried before. So you can get the regular Chilito, you get the Chilito with sour cream, or you can get the Chilito with spaghetti. So I wanted to try, I got one Chilito with spaghetti, basically a spaghetti burrito. I wanted to try that here. Let's see. Here it is, the spaghetti Chilito. Let's take a big old bite here. It's good, definitely good, but you know, spaghetti. With the tortilla, the spaghetti. You know, that's a lot of you know, a lot of starchy carbohydrate flavor. So I think I was going to stick with the Chilito with sour cream. Oh, this is pretty good. And the spaghetti actually holds it together, gives it a little bit more consistency. Yeah, that's delicious. I will be happy eating that. I do think I like just the regular Chilito with sour cream a little bit better. So it was about a week into the month of January, and I had set out on my second annual Choose My Adventure road trip. I will allow my viewers to vote on what city I would go to next. Started out in Rochester, New York. I ended up, they ended up choosing Cleveland, Ohio. I drove safely to Cleveland, Ohio. The next day, I set out to explore the city of Cleveland, and my engine light went on. My check engine light went on in my Chevy Equinox. I drove it to a local dealership, and the supercharger had blown out. I don't know what a supercharger is, but apparently it had blown out. And fortunately, they were able to fix it within 24 hours. Very impressive. Not so impressive as it was a $2,700 repair. So that wasn't fun. So I got my brand new, the next morning, I got up and got into the car with my very fresh new supercharger. The next city chosen was Columbus, Ohio. So I spent the day traveling to Columbus, and it was a wonderful day. Saw a lot of fun things, stumbled across some fun little stops along the way, and then near the end of the day I was heading into Columbus, Ohio, in the city of Sunbury, Ohio. And right here at this intersection, I was rear-ended. Driving along here, I stopped at the stop sign. I prepared to turn right, and then thunk! Something struck me from behind. Ended up pulling over into this little area right here. Fortunately, the gentleman that hit me from behind, he ended up pulling right in with me. And honestly, if he would have driven off, I would have never known. I did not see him. I did not see who hit me. So if he'd have sped off, I would have been out of luck. So as angry as it may make me that I was hit by a car, that I was rear-ended, it does at least make me feel good that the gentleman did stop and did do the right thing. So yeah, I felt the whole car lurched forward, heard the big bang. I knew exactly what had happened. I didn't see the person that hit me from behind, but I knew that I had been rear-ended, and I was at a stop. I don't know if they had ever stopped or they had just, I don't know what happened, but they hit me from behind. I didn't know what the damage was, so I pulled off into this area up here. So yeah, pulled in here, which is apparently the Ohio Department of Transportation outpost, and pulled in here, got out of my car, looked and saw that my back driver's side had been smashed in. So there was a gentleman that hit me. He jumped out of the car. He immediately started apologizing. He said, "This is all my fault. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And he said, "Maybe I could just pay you right now for your repairs." And I was a little bit in a daze, but I told him, I'm like, "I think this is going to be expensive." I didn't know how expensive at the time it would be, but I know that you know, little things that look like fender benders. I'd been rear-ended before. I'd been in some small fender benders before. I knew that just a little bit of a smashed car costs a lot of money. So I told him, I think this is going to be more money than you have in your pocket, and I think, you know, we need to call law enforcement. So I got in my car, I called law enforcement. You know, to his credit, again, I don't know what caused him to hit me. I don't know if he was distracted. I don't know if he was just not paying attention, but he ended up hitting me. He didn't say why. He didn't say what caused the distraction. He did yell and swear and call himself stupid, and it was very remorseful. He told me that he was responsible. He told the highway patrolman he was responsible. When Geico called him, he told them he was responsible. So fortunately, a part of the shining light of this situation is that I did not have to pay anything out of pocket. Everything was covered. He had Geico as insurance, I had Geico as insurance, so that actually made the process a little smoother. So, filled out paperwork, got everything. I was bummed, super bummed, considering that it had been the second time in just a couple of days that I had been derailed when I was just beginning this beginning of the year road trip that I anticipated on being very exciting. So I start to drive away after everyone else leaves, and dunk, 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 dunk. The car does not, something's wrong. So I get out and I see that the back bumper of the car is bent and pressing up against the tire. Now, a lot of people, when I posted this video originally, when it originally happened, a lot of people said, just cut it off and then drive away. And I would have done that, but I feel like the damage was a little more in depth than that. As they've fixed my car, they determined that the whole bottom floorboard of the car needed to be replaced. I know the last tally I heard, over $10,000 had been spent to fix my car, it could be even more than that, because I know they kept finding more and more damage. Of course, they've probably now paid more and found more damage than the car was actually worth. Probably would have been totaled if they'd known the total amount of damage, which would have made this whole process easier for me. So I got towed from the scene. The tow truck driver came. I couldn't close the back hatch of my car, so when he picked my car up on the thing, my luggage all fell out, which was just kind of like, boom. But he drove me there. Fortunately, I had already booked a hotel room for the night, and it was only about 15-20 minutes from here. So he drove me to the dealership, it's called Reichert dealership here. Dropped my car off, and then I had to call an Uber. I guess the tow truck drivers aren't allowed to transport you to where you're going, so I had to call an Uber to the hotel. And next morning I called Geico, my insurance. They set up a Enterprise rental car for me. Unfortunately, when I called Enterprise, they said it would be 4 days before I could get in a rental car, which, in my situation I was able to make that work. But man, I can imagine being in a different situation where that would be devastating. Having to stay in a hotel and wait. Normally, I stay in hotels all the time. It's part of my lifestyle, and so it kind of probably was less harsh on me than it would be for a lot of people. So yeah, I just think about, given different circumstances, how devastating this whole situation could be. One person doesn't pay attention, they rear end you, and it causes you a lot of strife. It has caused me a lot of strife. I feel like other people would this would be even harder on, given my lifestyle is somewhat different. But like as I said, that was January. I'm standing here right now. I have been waiting to get this car back. I have been waiting to get this car back since January. I think originally they said 4 to 6 weeks. Obviously that didn't happen. It kept getting bumped back, which kind of was frustrating to me. It kind of put a damper on my travel plans. I was always afraid to not be ready to, I always kept my schedule kind of open so that I would be ready to go get my car when it was ready. So I've been doing that for 4.5 months, been waiting for that call, and it finally came, I think. It's supposed to be ready today. Again, they actually told me it'd be ready to this evening. So I guess they were still working on my car this morning after 4.5 months. still working on my car this morning. And of course, like I mentioned, I have left a trail, an absolute trail of rental cars in my wake. I got the Nissan Rogue here in Columbus at Enterprise, and drove that out to California, and something happened with the what you would call it, the part of the car that cools the car down, that blew out. I was going through, I think I was in San Jose, California, or San Jose area. I was going through a car wash shaped like a riverboat, and smoke started pouring out from my hood. So I got that switched out. The car that I switched it out with, I had to switch back because it had needed an oil change. I didn't want to be responsible for not getting the oil change, so I switched that out and got a third Nissan Rogue, which lasted me until I got back to my house in North Carolina. And then it was getting warnings that there was something wrong with the sensor. And I know a lot of people have commented, you know, just ignore it, just ignore it. I didn't want to ignore anything. I didn't want to be responsible. I didn't want people to say, you know, you got this light, something was wrong with the car. Why didn't you switch it out when you had the chance before something went wrong? And so I felt like if something's wrong with the car, you need to switch it back in. I'm not gonna try to fix it myself. I'm not gonna just ignore it. I'm gonna get that switched out. So I switched out for a fourth rental car in North Carolina, the current Nissan Altima that I am in. And I think that's most of the story up to this point. Of course, you know, a lot of minor frustrations all along the way. I would not recommend getting in a car accident. I would not recommend getting in this scenario for anyone, because it has been a huge hassle. But fingers crossed. I'm gonna drive over there and check and see how my car's doing. I'm nervous. I'm nervous they're gonna tell me that it's not ready. I'm worried there's gonna be an issue, just because it's been one thing after another. But yeah, this right here behind me, the intersection where all this nonsense begins. And you just think it just takes 1 second for someone to not be paying attention. I don't want to make any accusations against this person because I don't know why they were distracted. There's different things, you know, people could be on their phones, people could be distracted by something happening in the car. Someone could just not be thinking, could be daydreaming, and that one little lapse in judgment can cause a whole huge, massive headache. Geez, I'm sure his insurance premium went up quite a bit. I know this has been a source of frustration for me, probably a source of frustration for him as well. Although it did annoy me that you know, he drove away and I was left on the side of the road, and I've been dealing with this ever since, just because one person didn't pay attention for a few moments. But there's no sense. There's no sense. It would be just as easy that I got distracted or I made a mistake. I've made plenty of mistakes in my life, so I don't want to act like this person is a bad person or has done something wrong, because these things do happen. Unfortunately, a small thing like this can require a lot of rigmarole. And this is something I did not notice. The night it happened, it was dark, it was rainy, and did not notice that there is literally a auto body shop across the street here, literally at this intersection. Here's Rich's Auto Care. Did not know this was here. I don't know if they do full body repairs, but a little bit of irony here that this auto repair shop right next to the intersection where it all happened. So that night that I got in my car accident, I had one more stop planned, one more thing to film planned before I was gonna head to my hotel room, and that's over here at this McDonald's. Have something over here in the grass. This McDonald's here has a nice little picnic area, and they also have a massive statue of Ronald McDonald. I have never seen, I've not seen anything like this. This is pretty unique. The giant Ronald McDonald here. He's got his friends down here. I think that's a Happy Meal, a milkshake, a burger, some fries, and this is a toy. I guess this is a toy that would be in a Happy Meal. Love this. This is really, really fun. This reminds me, there used to be a McDonald's near Disney World that had giant fiberglass sculptures all over top. Something about this kind of reminds me of that. Look at Ronald's face though. Let's see his teeth, his eyes there. Wow. Fingers crossed, heading off to the body shop. Let's hope the car's ready. And here we are at the body shop. I'm gonna head in and see if my car's ready. So we walk around the body shop, see all these other poor cars sitting here all smashed up, waiting to be fixed. Oh my, look at that guy there. Your tire's not supposed to bend in that direction. All right, my car is in the final steps of being finished. Looks like they're giving it a good once over, cleaning it off, and then we should have it here in just a few. It is finished. It is back 4.5 months later. For the first time since January, the car is in driving condition. You can see they got it nice and shined up for me. I always wonder, this car, the color of this car is so strange. I can never figure out if this car is blue or purple or black. I forget what the weird name they gave the color is, but it always looks different in different shades of light. And let's see, it's back here is where most of the repairs. This is what was smashed. So this is all new. This is all shiny new car. I think they said they completely replaced this this back lift gate, I think is what it's called. And yeah, it is, looks shiny and new. Oh, and there we have it. We got the little footprint mat there. There's still 3 cough drops and a Benadryl in there. Oh, looks like they found $1 somewhere in my car. So yeah, it is. This is my car. My car is back, and I am beyond thrilled. It's been so long. I missed her so much. Our car's females. I know all boats are females. I missed, you refer to a car as a her. I think it's safe. It's kind of like my boat that I sail across the nation. I missed you so much. Man, feels so good to be back in the saddle here. I've sat in this car. I've done so many things sitting in this seat. This has been my office for years. I've been where I would pull off, where I've done live streams from here. I've talked on video in this spot so many times, and it's been 4.5 months. 4.5 months ago, I was still married to Christy. 4.5 months ago, I didn't own my own house like I do now. It's a lot has changed, but we've come full circle. I think this is in some way we have reached the end of a chapter, and hopefully the beginning of a new chapter. Although I do have this this uneasy fear that I'm gonna pull out of the parking lot here and I'm immediately gonna get smashed, and then the car will be back in the shop for another 4.5 months. So hopefully that is not going to be the case, and we can get back on that long, lonesome road. This is a summer. The air is so warm today. It's like summer has begun once more. So back in the car. We got a hot summer in front of us. Everything is finally open now that Memorial Day has passed. So a lot of adventure going to be happening this summer in this car. If it doesn't get smashed, if I don't get another car accident, if I don't die, we will continue here. So I gotta get my stuff from my rental back in this car. Enterprise said I could leave the car here, give the keys to the auto body shop, and they will come pick up the car tomorrow. So yeah, some more adventures coming very soon. Thank you guys so much for following along with me on this ridiculous journey through this accident, through these rental cars, through all these road bumps along the way. And that's all they are, is road bumps. I've complained a lot, I've whined a lot, but as I've said, this is travel. This is what traveling is. Traveling is inconvenience. Traveling is anything going wrong does go wrong. Being stranded, being, you know, trying to connect the dots while you're 1,000 miles away from home. That's part of traveling. As much as I travel, there's gonna be incidents like that. There's gonna be more incidents like this probably at some point. But it means a lot to me that I've gotten so much support out there, so much support. People care that my car was broke down. People cared that my rentals were breaking down, and it really, you know, made me feel good to know that the people out there actually cared what was happening to me. So very excited. We've got a brand new summer ahead of us. We've got the car back. We can go wherever we want. Where do you want me to go? Leave a comment in the comment section. Everything's open now. It's summer. Tell me where you'd like to see me go next. There's a world of possibility out there. So thank you so much. As always, if you like these videos, subscribe. I travel around the country. I film roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, and other fun stuff. If you'd like to support the channel, consider contributing to Patreon, $3 or more. We'll get you a postcard once a month from me to you. Also, at the enamel pins, we have the new 4 Carpetbagger Monster pins in the shop, if you are interested. Also, still doing cameos. We can do some cameos here from the vehicle. Do personalized messages, birthdays, anniversaries, just for fun messages, whatever you want. And all that information for all those things is in the description of this video. And all that helps keep this car on the road, this car in the water, and this car in the air. Until next time, my friends, this one's in the bag. On the road again. I can't believe I'm on the road again. I honestly thought the situation would never end. So glad to be on the road again.